Okay, so this recording is going to show a great example of cutters clearing for other cutters to create space so that we can hit one of our principles of the offense, which is attacking isolated space. Again, this is our strong side. This is where we're optimally trying to get the disc. Notice we got our three handlers. First thing is Troy he's the first isolation cutter. He does not get the disc. In this situation, many times cutters would clear deep, but that's our strong side. We are expecting cutters to be coming through this space, so we do not want to clear out of it. So instead, Troy has a choice to make, and he's going to finish wide and shallow, almost into a handler position. As this unfolds, watch what this does to the defender. The defender follows wide, which allows our strong side inside space to still be available to be attacked for a nice scuba over the top. If Troy does not move his defender into that shallow wide handler position, this throw is unavailable, our strong side is not available, and we would have had to swing the disc yet again. At the end of this recording, I just want to spend some time talking about the role Troy's playing. It's not just a passive clear move where we're keeping the strong side available, though his move is partially a space move. As you can see, he's drifting back. Imagine now we don't hit this player on the inside space of the strong side. Troy will continue his cut from even with the handler to around the handler, attacking this space back here for potential dishy into the break space so that we could then attack this way. He has to continue that way because this second cutter, as we see, is flowing into this space and needs a place to go and clear into. They can't clear back, and although they could clear inside, their most likely place is to finish where Troy is finishing. So Troy cannot just stop here and be content and passive here. He has to continue to drive behind the handler in case there's a need of a reset or if we want to dishy it and attack the break side. Okay, what we're going to see in this video is another example of cutters and players clearing to isolate space, which is one of our offensive principles. So the disc is here, the strong side is over here. We notice we've got this handler here. Now we know that we're trying to attack this space, and cutters are going to be coming from up here into this space. And when they get into this space, they have two choices to clear, either across or finishing into this handler space. So in order to finish into this handler space, it must be available. So that means that this cutter or handler is going to have to send and clear around wide. You can almost imagine if this is the disc and we know the strong side and the flow is going this way, that all other cutters, in order to line up correctly, have to go in that direction. So let's take a look. Sure enough, that cutter clears wide, opens up the strong side for an in cut. A good example of clearing the strong side space, clearing the space the disc is flowing to so we can attack that space. So far we've looked at a lot of good examples of how to isolate cutters in space, which is one of our principles of offense. And I want to show you this example of bad spacing and bad cutting, so that you get an idea of what should not be happening. So the strong side is over here. We've just hit a cutter, an isolation cutter on the strong side. There's nothing happening upfield, so he's going to swing it back to the middle. The disc is swung back. You'll notice the center handler here, the king, does a great job of looking primarily in the direction the flow is going. So the disc came from here, so its next spot should be attacking over here. And we'll get into later videos about sort of switching the strong side and the weak side. But now we want to flow up this side because this is the direction the disc is going. However, we got a problem. We're going to see a problem on both sides of the disc here. We have these two players who are going to run vertically into the spaces where cutters are attacking from downfield. What this does, and we'll roll the film, is it adds extra traffic for the thrower, and there's nowhere to put the disc until those players clear, and now we're back on the sideline basically in the same position with no yards gained due to 2 bad clears from handler positions. Instead, if we can rewind it to talk about what should have happened. Okay, we throw it to the middle. Now, as the disc is here, what should have been happening was this player could have realized earlier and got an upfield and then sliced across, because remember, we're trying to open up this space, or this handler could have stopped and jogged back over here. Instead, neither of those things happened. Also over here, instead of moving, this player should wait, maybe take a couple steps back here. Once this disc is thrown in this space, this cutter can then attack and get into the flow, eventually coming back around to attack further upfield on this side of the field. Instead, they both rush upfield and deny the thrower throwing lane.